Hello and welcome back to Steampunk's GameSpot's PC Focus Show. We talk about PC and all the issues that PC gamers kind of worry about.
Yeah.
And this week, lots of big games are coming out towards the end of this year.
Oh yeah.
And there's always the big question of like, there's a big game coming out and I know I want to play it. Do I pre-order it? And that's the question today. Do you pre-order games?
Should you
pre-order games? It's obviously a big question that's people have been asking for a long time.
Yeah, the argument is between do you want to make sure you're getting your hands on those bonuses, which is of course their marketing incentive to make sure you pre-order the game, or do you want to wait for the reviews, wait for the zeitgeist and give up the opportunity to access those so you can get a better view of what the game is, or do you not mind either way and you just know you're going to play it so you just pick it up?
Yeah, it's kind of a sneaky thing because obviously originally pre-orders existed because games came in a physical format and there are only so many games you could get, so you had to make sure you had to pre-order in so you could get it on day one and make sure you had a copy to play.
Yeah.
Obviously that doesn't matter anymore, especially with PC because it's all digital.
Yeah.
And so those sneaky little pre-order bonuses that sometimes they just don't even matter and sometimes they're, they're really worthwhile.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, oh, this dilemma of like, do I do it? Do I want the content? If I want the game and I know I'm gonna like the game, I want to have all the stuff, right?
Yeah. I think one of the more interesting things now is what we're seeing to come in pre-order bonuses. So one of the massive things that's happening is betas. So Fallout 76, you need to pre-order it if you want to get in the beta, which is of course something people want to get their hands on, especially with a game like Fallout 76, where we don't really know what to expect at this stage. People really want to play that beta to find out if it's something they want to play. So the other side of the coin of things that are happening is because it's not a stock thing, people are pre-ordering these games to get access to the beta, and some of them are playing the beta, finding out if it's their thing, and canceling it if it's not.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one advantage about pre-ordering stuff on PC, especially on Steam, because Steam has a Steam refund process. You can't really do that on consoles. But yeah, betas are kind of like one of the better incentives to pre-order, I guess. Though it still kind of sucks.
Yeah.
And obviously a lot of games have open betas as well, so you don't necessarily need to have that. And obviously if you're a developer and you want a lot of people to stress test your multiplayer service, why not just make it open? Why make it a pre-order incentive? That doesn't make sense.
Except if you want people to buy your game. And one of the more interesting examples of getting access to a beta, which wasn't even the beta for the game, was if you pre-ordered Crackdown, you got access to the Halo 3 beta, which everyone wanted into, and some argue that's the reason the Crackdown series got so popular. So of course there's been the pre-order boycott lately, when people have picked up games that ended up being disappointing. I guess we can include Mass Effect 3 and No Man's Sky into that bracket.
Mass Effect Andromeda. Mass Effect 3 was alright.
Mass Effect Andromeda. I like Mass Effect 3, but those kind of games that people were just really disappointed. There's like top shelf, top price games people didn't like, and so went the movement of hashtag stop pre-ordering games.
Yeah, I mean, I pre-order a lot of games, I buy a lot of games, and when you buy a lot of games, you want to save a little bit of money, and obviously one of the incentives to pre-order is you save like 10%.
Yep.
And if I think I'm going to like something, I will do that, foolishly, I will admit. And I think a lot of the stuff I have actually been burned on are actually like EA Origin games, like Mass Effect Andromeda was a big one. There are even some cases where like I pre-ordered a game from a publisher or developer that I know I really, really loved, and I really wanted to support them, but I was a little disappointed. So Jurassic World Evolution was another recent one because I freaking loved Planet Coaster and I loved Frontier. But there have been a lot of cases where I have been really grateful that I pre-ordered a game and I got all the bonuses that I wanted. I know I really loved it. I mean, this isn't a PC example, but I pre-ordered Red Dead Redemption 2 because I think I know that's going to be a pretty good game. I think it's a pretty safe bet. I really hope so because PlayStation doesn't let you refund pre-orders. But yeah, how about you?
I think sometimes you got to take the gamble on that stuff. The game I really got burned by was Watch Dogs.
Oh, me too. Watch Dogs. The marketing was so good, and then getting suckered by the marketing is such a gut punch in the end when it doesn't live up to your expectations.
Yeah, I got an hour into that game, and I was just like, because I was still pumped. Like even upon starting it and getting into it, I was like, okay, this isn't quite what I wanted it to be, but I was still pumped. I got an hour in, and I was just, I'm straight up not enjoying this, and there goes. I mean, in Australia, that was a $100 game, so I was like, okay, crap.
Obviously, you have to mention Kickstarters because you and I both kickstarted a lot of Kickstarter projects, especially in the heyday of Kickstarter back in 2010 to 2012, where a lot of really big retro revivals were happening. And I still have projects that I backed in 2012 that still haven't come out yet.
Same.
And I'm putting a lot of faith into that. For the most part, a lot of them have been really good. Banner Saga worked out really well. The Double Fine thing was, had mixed reviews, but I really enjoyed it.
I quite like Broken Age, yeah. It's
Yeah.
interesting though, because with Kickstarter, you're putting your dollars behind it for another reason as well. It's because you want it to be made in the first place. I kickstarted Dreamfall Chapters when that game came out, and I put, I don't want to say, but it's like I put hundreds of dollars behind that game because I was so excited about it from my favorite series of all time, and still don't have the physical edition. I kickstarted that in 2012. I think they're sending them soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just one of those things. I think it makes a difference when you pre-order if you have that faith in the developer.
Yeah.
You have that faith in the series. I think I would be more hesitant to ever pre-order anything like I did with Watch Dogs when I was doing it based on a marketing campaign and not based on having a pre-existing love for a developer or series.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, in my case, the ones I'm still waiting on a project from the guys who made Space Quest, and I love those series when I was a kid, and if it ends up not being great, that's not going to be the biggest bummer because I only backed it for like $20 or $30. But I just wanted them to know that, hey, people will still want adventure games like the games you used to make, because that's really important to a lot of people. I think being in the position that we are in, we get more of an insight to what a game might be like before it comes out. So I'm a little more careful on that front. Obviously, that's really hard for your average gamer to do. But if the biggest incentive for you is money and saving a bit of money on the pre-order, like it is for me, it is kind of nice to know that Steam obviously has launch discounts as well as pre-order discounts, and they are often the same.
I also think another reason is you're the best gauge of whether or not you're going to be into a game, because yes, you can wait till reviews come out and stuff, but the review zeitgeist isn't necessarily reflective of how much you're going to personally enjoy a game. I've had several favorite games, including Might and Magic 10 that came out a few years back. My favorite game of the year, it got 6s across the board. I just personally really liked it, and it came from a series that I had a lot of nostalgia for me and I already had a lot of love for.
Yeah, I think we've all had that situation where a game has been reviewed very poorly, but I've friggin' loved it, and that's a whole other conversation in itself. But if you think you're gonna like something, then maybe you will. And and if you don't, there's always Steam refunds.
Yeah.
But don't abuse it, because you should support the developers as well. If someone's making something that you like, I'm very happy to give them my money.
Yeah. That's just what we think, but do let us know down in that comment section what you guys think of pre-orders. Do you do it? Do you not? And do let us know why. Also, thank you so much for your comments on last week's episode about remasters. Enjoyed seeing the general vibe that when remasters are clearly a cash-in, you're not happy with it. But if it is to revive an old school game that wouldn't exist without the remaster, and just to keep it in the gaming field so that younger generations can play it and stuff, that makes it a really good thing.
Yeah, I think the sentiment was mainly on board with sort of what we thought.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell. And when a good remaster happens, people are pretty thankful for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Dark Souls strips out Games and Windows Live out of its thing, people are happy. That's great.
Yeah.
So let us know about your thoughts about pre-orders and tell us all that stuff, and let me know the worst pre-order you ever got burned by.
Please do.